What's up, Eastside Youth? It's Wednesday afternoon. If you're not watching this live, and it is rainy out today. I'm at my parents' house right now. We're just finishing up some dinner, but I wanted to send this as the Wednesday midweek kind of check-in and encouragement. And one of the things that has I've been thinking about really since the beginning of this whole virus mess and all this, and it's one of the things that if you spend more than 5 seconds on the internet, you find out pretty quick that everybody has a different response to what's going on. And part of that is just different personalities, different ways that people process information. But the other part of that is just the different ways that it affects different people. Excuse me. And I was thinking about it, and my current I've shared like my current situation. I feel fairly blessed. I'm very thankful for the jobs that I have and the work that I do, especially in the sense that I am able to not work right now almost completely from my jobs, and yet still be able to sustain what my family needs. And so for me, like, I see a lot of what's going on, and I'm like, it'll pass, it's gonna pass. And there's not as much fear. I don't have as much anxiety as others. I don't have as much like chomping at the bit to get everything turned back on. Like, I'm ready for it, but like, the slowness has been good. But in that, I'm also challenged to remember that is not the case for other people. And one of the things in Galatians 6, verse 2, it tells us to bear one another's burdens. And that verse is specifically talking in regards to sin. So the things that burden a person, or the ways that people tend towards sin, and everybody tends to sin differently, whether you struggle with lying, stealing, whatever it is, everybody has different tendencies and propensities, but Paul says, like, bear with one another. But what he doesn't say is make sure that you fully understand each person's burden before you bear with it. And in our language today, this is more this idea of empathy, this idea of like, I don't even necessarily have to know or be experiencing the same thing to be able to say, I'm here with you, I care about you, how you're feeling is real, and I want to be here to help support you through it. And I think that it really can capture a lot of this idea of bearing with one another's burdens, especially right now, when you might be surrounded by people whose burdens are different than yours, or who in your brain you're like, well, the same thing that you are saying is burdening you is not burdening me. And that's okay. Because the same is probably true for you on some other case. They might look back at you and say, well, why is that burdening you? Whatever that is, that doesn't burden me. That's not a concern. And so I would just encourage you, as you interact with people, especially when it's online, because one of the things that happens online is we are removed from the like face of the person who is talking a little bit, is to be thinking about what is the other person on the other end of this thing, chat, comment, when you're interacting with people, whether it's in person, right now that is a little different, or via the internet, be thinking about like, are they reacting differently to something than I am right now? And do I need to fully understand all the ins and outs of why they're feeling that way? Or can I be there and support them and care for them and empathize with them and love them, and help bear their burdens now? Because one of the ideas of this whole idea of bearing one another's burdens is it is never a one-way street. The Christian life is surrounded by brothers and sisters, and the idea behind that is, your burden might be the one that needs bore up today, but that might mean that the person helping you bear your burden may need you next week or 6 months from now when this is all turning back around, hopefully. So just keep that in mind. Be encouraged. If you're seeing other responses, I don't think that we need to have fear. I don't think fear is beneficial, but be slow to, say negative things toward people who might be a bit afraid right now. Try to bear up that burden with them. Let them know, hey, if you want to chat, I'm here. Be a positive presence rather than a finger pointing presence, I guess is the best way to say that. Anyway, I love you guys. Happy Wednesday. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again later this week. Stay well, stay healthy, stay hopeful. Love you guys. Bye.